Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of the Wisdom Save podcast. I am Ken,
I'm Hannah.
and today we're going to do something a little bit, well, I don't know if seasonal is really the right word, but we're starting to inch our way towards the holiday season.
Oh, by this point, we'll be in the middle of it.
That's true.
The holiday
Yeah,
season starts the day after Thanksgiving.
yeah, I guess it depends on your definition of that. I mean, I'm thinking when holidays start, specifically
Well, if you're talking about if holidays started, they already started.
That's yeah, that's what I'm saying. By the time this episode goes up, I'm pretty sure Hanukkah will already be happening. I'm pretty sure it's like the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I assume that by the time this episode is up, Hanukkah will have already happened.
Yeah.
Christmas is right around the corner. New Year's is right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting into it,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, nothing says holiday season like buying a bunch of your Christmas presents all at once and panicking, going from grocery store to grocery store with the added spiciness of being in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh yeah, you love it.
Of course. And so some of you may know this from listening to earlier episodes of our podcast, but I work in retail.
Uh-huh. I'm trying to turn the phone off on my sound.
I literally saw Twitch open up on your phone, and I'm just like, I wonder if their sound's gonna go off.
No, I'm hitting the home button, and I'm just like, don't. I literally just got you probably heard the from like getting a notification. And I was like,
maybe.
better turn that shit off. And then I turn it on, and Twitch is like, hey!
It's like, you want to watch this stream?
We're doing a holiday stream! Anyway.
But yeah, so, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So I work in retail.
Mm-hmm.
For the purposes of this podcast, I will not name the company in which I am employed, but I am employed at a retail establishment. Hannah also has worked in retail before.
I've worked in retail, and if you count food service as retail,
yeah,
then I still do. I work in food service.
Yeah,
that shit sucks.
Yeah, that shit sucks. And as far as I'm concerned, like both food service and retail have similarly bad customers.
Oh yeah,
which I think is kind of that's like the key factor of the retail experience.
I was gonna say I actually have a story. It probably has nothing to do with your topic. Bonus story for the beginning.
On.
No, okay, go ahead.
Save it because it's a story about. Is it a story about a bad customer experience?
Yes.
So interesting that you mentioned that because that literally is our topic.
Is it?
Oh yeah, nothing says holiday season like
bad customers.
Bad customers.
I
it's
see.
It's
Karen
hunting season.
Because Ken didn't tell me what the topic was, but he said he was gathering stuff from like our friends and our listeners.
Oh yeah, we've got a
couple. To tell. And I was like, what are you asking? Like, you're asking, he's like, oh, we're like doing Reddit basically. And I was like, okay, cool. He's like, well, we're getting stuff from other people. And I was like, how are you getting Reddit stories from other people? Can't you just go on the internet? I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
You should have messaged Erica. Did you message Erica?
I didn't message Erica.
Erica has like really good stories.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I know them, I guess.
I didn't think about that. I was like, I've been waiting on like a couple from some people, and then I was just like, and then I didn't like follow through on that. So what I would like to say before we start with some of our hilarious, nightmarish, horrifying holiday retail stories, we got a couple of mine mixed in there from all over the place. We've got a couple of good ones from some friends and listeners of the podcast. We got a couple of good ones from a subreddit that I found that I didn't know a whole lot about.
Oh, I've got plenty too.
Oh yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I was hoping you'd be able to contribute some fun ones as well. But if anyone has some phenomenal retail stories that you would like to share, I would love for you to talk about them in the comments. I'd love to talk with you about them. I'd love to empathize with the pain that you have had to experience of working a holiday in retail. I've been working in retail since my
first job.
my first job, which was my junior year of high school. So I'm 27 now. So
Same.
it's been, in the just about 10 years, I think. 11, probably about 11 years I've been working in retail, which is nearly half of my life, which is horrifying.
Yeah. I didn't go to working until like a year. I took a year off of school. Well, I never went back, so I took a lot of years off of school. After I graduated.
Oh, like after you graduated high school.
I took a year off, and then I got a job because I got bored. And then I've been working in retail ever since.
After binge watching anime for
for a year.
Yeah. Just living your absolute fucking truth.
But can I tell my story from today before we start with all your fancy stuff? It was from today.
Okay. So there's literally no better way to ring in holiday retail horror stories than a literal retail horror story that happened during the holiday. Take it away.
It wasn't a horror story, but like okay. So I work in a Subway.
Okay. I'm not going to say mine. You're welcome to do it.
There's plenty of Subways.
Yeah.
There's like a Subway in every single town.
You work at a Subway.
I work at a Subway. And
a Subway, if you will.
Yeah, Subway. And some customers super cool. But like 25% of them are picky ass bitches. Mm-hmm. Especially old white men. And
of course.
There's this one guy that comes in, and I'm not going to explain it because it's like super duper stupid complicated about like the recipes and stuff that people use in Subway. But he wants it a very particular way. Like he gets a wrap and a sub, and then he wants 2 soups or 1 soup, whatever. And
who orders a soup from Subway?
Some people do. They have that. Their soup's actually pretty okay.
They're good?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, sure. Shit.
It's just as good as like the soups they put out in like a Stop and Shop.
Oh, sure. Okay.
It all comes in a bag. You heat it up. It's good.
Yeah.
But he's really particular about the way that you do it, and I'm fine with you being particular.
Yeah.
About how you want your food made.
Understandable. I like my sandwiches to be a certain way.
As long as you're working with me on it.
Right.
Because if I fuck up, I'll be like, okay, I'm sorry. Like I will fix it, and if it's like a really big deal, I'll make you a new one. I don't give a crap.
Right.
Like the owners might not like it, but like whatever.
Bread's bread, baby.
Yeah, I fucked up. I will redo it as long as you're nice to me. I don't care. Like you don't even have to be nice. As long as you're just not a cunt to me, I will remake your sandwich if I fuck it up badly enough.
I think that's fair.
But this guy always comes in and he just demands shit. To begin with. There really is a difference in tone. Yes.
There is an absolute difference between asking and demanding.
Well, he tells you what to do, does not say please or thank you, and if you're starting to do the wrong thing, he goes no, not like that.
You want to come back here and make it?
I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know that I was like fucking a 5-year-old or something, and you were my weird Karen mom.
Yeah.
But
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so whatever, fuck that guy to start with. And then he always complains that nothing is hot enough. It doesn't matter, like he gets the soups and he had like a huge attitude with my coworker today because when I first made his stuff, it was like my first day when I met him. Like right. I started a new job because I lost my last one because of the pandemic, long story short.
Right.
I started the new job. I got him on my first day. I didn't make his stuff hot enough.
The soup wasn't at approximately 175 degrees.
Apparently, the guy couldn't put it in his own damn microwave. Had to come back.
Yeah, he did.
Have us do it.
Wait, he drove back to the store with his cup
He has multiple times done this.
Oh my God.
Came back so we could put it in our microwave, complained that it wasn't hot enough. He came back, or he was leaving with it, and he was like, I hope it's hot enough. And my coworker was like, if it's not, you can either reheat it in your own microwave or bring it back and we'll reheat it for you. And he's like, I already had to come back here once before.
So like, you don't have a microwave.
Whatever. Okay, whatever. And so he came back, not 5 minutes later after he left.
Oh, literally?
He literally came back. He was like, the thing was, is I think he thought he could be a bitch to me and I think he realizes that he can't anymore. Yeah. And I'm really hoping that's the case.
Yeah.
Because he put the soup on the counter and he's like, it's not even hot. And it wasn't even hot when I left. And I was like, okay. And I took it and I put it in the microwave and I set it on. I set it on the microwave settings for 2 minutes.
Oh God! Okay.
These cups of soups are like not that big. They're like
2 minutes is like that is too much.
It's too much. And he brought his wrap in too, and I was like, "Is there anything else that needs heating up?" And he was like, "Oh, the sandwich does too." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I'll take it." And then I took it, and I was gonna put it in the toaster. And he's like, "No, I wanted it in the microwave." And I was like, "All right." And so I put it on the side of the sink, and because it's like a counter,
right?
And I was like, "Okay." And then I stood there, and I just waited for the full 2 minutes. And I was watching the soup, and it was boiling.
Yeah.
And I opened it up.
Bubbling over.
Yes. I opened it up and I put my finger in it and it burned me. So I shut it and I put it on for another 2 minutes. And when I took it out of I didn't let it boil over. It was like still neat. Right. But then I put the caps on it, and when I took them out, the cardboard was burning my hands. And I stacked them up and I put them on the counter, and then I put his thing in there, and he was like, only for like 15 seconds. And I was like, okay. And so I put it on for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And to make sure it was hot enough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I wrapped it up.
We don't want this to be a problem for you again.
We don't want you to have to come back again.
Yeah. God, I have to see your fucking face again.
And so then I gave it back to him, and he put it in his hands. I was like, is it warm enough? Do you think I have to put it on for more time? He was like, no, it should be fine. And then he left.
Yep.
And I was like, if that dude ever fucking comes back in again, because he left and I was talking to my coworker, I was like, if he comes in ever again, let me take him. Because I will sit there and make sure everything he has is so fucking hot that we will never see him come back again.
See, this is, like, I'm not going to lie. I would say, like, a good, like, maybe 50% of the reason why I'm like, I got a long list of possible podcast topics. This is the one I want to do. It's seasonal enough. And it's because of this. Because for those of you who don't know who Hannah is as a person, there is a very, very finite amount of bullshit that she will tolerate. It is measured in grains of sand. Once you cross that threshold, you fucked up. That's on you. And she will make you regret it. She is fearless. She is determined. She is powerful.
I will get back at you by doing exactly what you wanted me to do.
Aggressive compliance.
Yeah, that's me. The thing is I will be nice as I fucking can to you. I will literally go out of my way 24/7 for you, no matter what. Even if you don't matter to me, especially if it's my job.
Oh yeah.
If you're not, even if you're just not an asshole,
right?
The moment you're like an asshole, I'll let it slide if it's my job. If you are a continual cunt bag, I will do everything you want me to do and more.
I will make certain that everything is done exactly to your specifications, and then some. Mm-hmm. I will be perfect about it. I'll be so perfect you will never complain again. Mm-hmm. And if you do, I'll fucking kill you.
And that was my one fun customer service moment today.
So the thing is, like there are so many regulars, and we'll get into this. Mm-hmm. But there are so many regulars at my place of employment that I would absolutely love to do that to. Mm-hmm. Now, for those of you who know me, I, unlike Hannah, am what we would call a people pleaser. And because of that, 9 times out of 10, I just want people to I will do whatever they need me to do. I would like them to go away and stop bothering me. Just like I don't want to argue. I don't want to fight. I want them to go away. Mm-hmm. I want to be left alone. And when people are like, "Oh, I need this," or like, "You need to do this for me," I'll just do it, even if it sucks and I hate it, and mm-hmm. I really shouldn't, because I just want them to go away.
Right.
I can't like I can't do what I need to do if I have customers that are like all up in my fucking business. So I will like I'm not so much aggressive compliance as much as I'm just like compliance for the sake of getting you to shut your goddamn mouth.
Right.
Um,
Well, there's a level of that in there for me, but
Yeah.
if that's at the you're an asshole and I want you to leave
the thing
level,
is, like I haven't quite mastered the spite. There's
yeah,
a spite aspect that I haven't quite figured out because I'm bad at being spiteful.
it's a spite like that you have to master
Sure.
through having sisters.
Oh, see that? Yeah, yeah. That did not happen to me. Yep. That's what it is.
We got along for the most part, but we knew how to be spiteful to each other.
Yeah. That's a powerful tactic to learn.
Uh-huh.
That's a retail weapon.
Yeah.
Oh, God. 'Tis the fucking season. Well, that was a great way to start it off. All right. We have a couple.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to start with some. You know what? What do you think we should do first? Reddit or some guest submissions?
Do the guest submissions first. Because if I know us, like, not saying that we won't get to the Reddit submissions, but I want to do the ones about us talking about, like, our friends and, like, our listeners and stuff first. Because those are, like, personal stories about people we know. And we might talk about them so long that we go over time.
Sure.
So we'll put the Reddit ones in if we have time, or if we don't, then we won't.
Yeah. We intend this one to be a little bit more of a lighthearted, shorter episode.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if that sticks.
Yeah, we'll see if it goes to 2 hours or not. Sometimes we'll go to 2 hours by accident now.
Yeah. Well, lighthearted isn't the right word because we're talking about retail stories. But like,
we wanted it to be light.
Yeah.
Like lightweight.
We don't want to bombard you with 2 hours of like nightmare Karens. It sounds like a bad idea.
People like Karen stories sometimes.
They really do, though. That's a very good point. I, for one, like in the moment, I hate it, but like afterwards,
it's
stories.
Content.
It's content. The stories, perfection. So I asked a number of people for different submissions.
Okay.
Not everyone got back to me. Actually, as a matter of fact, only one person did.
What?
Yeah. I asked I think I asked like 6 people. I really should have asked Erica. That was like you caught me slipping. I really should have asked Erica, but
I'm sure Erica and Paul have a million stories.
I bet they do. Maybe we'll do a redux. Maybe we'll do a Maybe
I mean, Karen's stories is like especially as like us and our friends and like our family, like most of us work in like retail, food work, like that kind of job.
Yeah.
Everyone has a nightmare story, especially with how long we've been working in this like place.
Yeah. So yeah, I asked like 5. I think I asked 6 people. Only one of them got back to me. I'm assuming everybody with the holidays. Like I've been doing the same thing. Like I've been fucking garbage at answering my texts for the last like 3 weeks because like I will zone out when I enter work as the spirit of customer service possesses me once again. And then I get home and I just want to go to bed. But I did manage to get a couple of good stories. Let's see. Did we agree?
I'm assuming we got permission to read
the stories.
Yes,
we got permission to read the stories, of course, because otherwise he wouldn't have posted them. We also got permission to use his name. We are not going to use the name of the company he works for, but we will use his name. So, Kyle, thank you so much.
Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle, who has guested before on the podcast.
He's the guy we play D&D with. He plays Callista. He plays Satanta. He plays Unity. He is our best buddy.
Yeah!
Our best buddy.
Oh, he's our best buddy. So Kyle gave us two little gemstones from his time working in grocery store retail. We've
also worked with him before.
That is true. At one point in time, he was. I mean,
that's how I think that's how you guys met, and that's how I met you guys.
Yeah, well, yeah, because we met. We all were working at the same grocery store, and me and Kyle had been tossing around for a little bit. I mean, it hadn't been like super long, but like. Probably for a couple of weeks, maybe a month, we had been tossing about the idea of doing like a work Dungeons and Dragons campaign,
Mm-hmm.
and we were trying to find some people to get into it, and we like thought like, oh yeah, Sean will probably be a good person to join, and then at that time we worked with Dave, so it was like, oh yeah, Dave would probably be a cool person to join, and you had like just started maybe like a couple weeks before,
Yeah.
and we were like starting to get to know you, and by that point we were like, yeah, she's pretty cool, so we were just like, oh yeah, like let's ask Hannah, and that's it, like that's how
The
it all
rest is
happened.
history. We've been hanging out for like 6 years.
But from that same exact
Kyle.
from that same exact Kyle, from that same exact retail location, grocery store retail location. Um, we have a couple of interesting personal stories of his.
I'm excited for this.
Now I have some stories. I'll mention every time. I have a couple of stories to share. I worked with Kyle at my very first job at a different grocery store retail location.
Right.
So he'll probably be referenced in earlier stories, despite the fact that they didn't happen at the same place. But this is his. So he says first. So I haven't. Oh no, actually. Oh shit.
What?
This. Oh wow.
What?
No, this is from like before he met me, but it's from the first place.
Oh, okay.
I glossed over that first line. Okay, so he says, so I have a somewhat infamous tale from my first or second week of work ever.
Okay.
This was at first place. I'm a beacon of customer service. That's the damn
He
truth.
still is.
He really is. He's like Mr. Positive. He walks in the door and he's just like sunshine even when everything's shitty. I don't know how he does it.
I couldn't.
Yeah. He says, I'm a beacon of customer service, and my good attitude didn't just come from nowhere. I don't know. I've always been in a good mood when I'm helping customers, helping people. But believe it or not, I was even more chatty and even more bubbly when I first started. Probably didn't know what was coming.
Oh my gosh.
I
It's always when you're in a good mood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what.
If you're happy and a customer's in a bad mood, they just don't want you to be happy.
Yeah. They smell weakness.
They
They
don't.
smell joy.
It isn't even. I was gonna say it isn't even weakness. They're just like, you're happy and my life sucks.
Yeah. They want you to suffer.
Okay, continue. Sorry, Kyle.
He says. So Kyle says, I've been in a deli for 13 years now. In my literal first week working in deli services, there was this one time when a customer was being excessively curt, impolite. Not could I get, or it's give me this, give me that.
All right.
And when I finished helping them, didn't even get a thank you.
Mm-hmm.
They just grabbed up all their stuff, scooped it up into their arm, and just turned around and started walking away. I offered a cheerful, well, have a nice day.
As they teach you to do.
Right. As is like, and plus it's the other place. We were told to be polite.
Yeah.
We worked in one of the richer sections of a large town.
Well, even if not, they want you to do that.
Well, right, in general.
Especially when you work in like a rich, but that's where people are most uppity. But especially when you work in like a higher end place, they want you to be like real polite. Yeah. But even in ours, where like it wasn't really as high end, they drill it into you, always say like, hi, how are you? Always, please, thank you. Always have a nice day.
I mean, we had customers who lived in upper class, $1 million mansion home kind of shit. We had customers that were not used to we had customers who had maids,
we're not used to you being mean to them.
Maids and butlers. They were not used to people who were perceived lesser than them, not giving them sir and madam kind of shit. So you had to be excessively polite.
Right.
But yeah, so he, in his cheery way, which we know Kyle, this is how he is. He sensed that they were upset, and so his immediate reaction is to smother them with positivity, try to turn them around.
We've played Among Us with our friends, and it's Erica, Kyle, our friends and family. We play Among Us together.
Yes.
He's offered Erica fresh chickens over Among Us.
Yeah.
Customer service to the nines.
Yeah, he'll take it home with him. It's it's in his blood. It's who he is. He's just a charmer. That's how he is.
So I'm not surprised he was being kind.
Yeah. So anyway, as he was saying, tried to offer a cheerful "have a nice day" because he could tell they were rough. As he says this, the customer from turned around with
Mm-hmm.
their arm full of stuff, wheels around on the spot, and screeches at him, "Do not tell me what to do," and then stomped away,
Wow.
full on boot to the
Pavement?
tile,
Tile.
boot to the yeah, it was a tile floor,
Linoleum? I don't know.
boot to the linoleum, just thump thump. Me and my coworkers were absolutely speechless. I did not know how to process this. This is your second week working.
Right.
Like that seems like a meme. Like
Absolutely.
you're just like, oh, have a nice day. Don't tell me to have a nice day. It's like, oh, you're like a cartoon character.
Okay, have it the day you deserve.
Yeah. Oh, well then I hope you get hit by a bus, you piece of garbage. Like, what do you want?
Anyway,
Human beings.
Is that the end of the story?
That's that one. Yeah, it was.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that was all it was. Like he never saw the person again. They just came in, had an.
I really hope they got hit by a bus.
Yeah, like had a railroad spike in their ass the entire time, and then like bubbly, charming, at this point probably teenage Kyle was like, "Oh, well, have a good day," like trying to cheer you up, and it's just like, "How dare you be kind?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that guy like walked in with the express intent of trying to make somebody feel bad about themselves.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was really hoping there was like a part of the story where they like whipped back around and like fell.
Oh man, see that's the thing is that like I want so many of these stories to have like happy endings for the customer for the worker,
Uh-huh.
but as we all know,
Rarely they do.
That is not how that works in retail. Oh no. He also had another one.
Mm-hmm.
He said, however, this one was actually pretty recent. So I'm assuming everyone who's listening to us has probably been to a grocery store deli before. For those of you who don't frequent delis, they usually have a organized line system where you have numbers,
Mm-hmm.
and you will take a number from a little like ticket dispenser. It'll be a ticket or some sort of like small slip with a number on it, and then they have a way of calling out numbers at the deli counter, and when they call your number, it is now your turn to interact with the employee and ask them what things you would like them to slice.
You know, like a line,
Yeah.
like they teach you in first grade.
It's a line, but you don't have to form a line. You can just kind of hover around and shop the open, like the case that they have, and look at what meats you'd like to purchase while you are waiting for your turn to request items.
Yes.
That's how that works.
Easy peasy breezy.
Every once in a while.
Cover girl.
Yeah. Every once in a while, people forget to take a number.
Uh-huh.
Even though
they don't forget.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Some people, they've never been to a deli before.
Uh-huh.
That is a rare occurrence.
Mm-hmm.
They may not know. I need to take a number. And then they learn rather quickly. That is what you need to do. And then once you've learned that, if you're a normal person, you then don't forget that that is a requirement.
Because that's how you get in the fucking queue.
Yeah, that's how you get in the line. You can't get on a ride at Disney World if you don't get in the line at Disney World. You don't get to stare at Splash Mountain and watch it go by and be like, damn, I wish I could somehow get there, and then just keep looking at it expecting to be in a car. It doesn't work.
Yes.
You have to do something. The first time you're ever in a deli, that is excusable. As far as I am concerned.
Yeah.
There is literally no other excuse for not taking a number at the deli counter.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason you would do that is I am trying to find a way to sneak ahead in line.
The only other time I've had that be a thing where it's not a really big deal is when people will come up and there's no one else there.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair.
They'll be like, is anyone else in line? And I'd be like, no. And they'd be like, do I need to take a ticket? And I'd be like, it's usually preferable because then things behind the counter will flash and let me know you would like service.
Right.
But if you can get someone's attention, it's not really a big deal.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying, like, usually, yes.
Well, at the particular grocery store deli that we worked at,
mm-hmm.
if someone came up and they were the only person there and they wanted service, you could even, like, using the kiosk screen, you could give them a digital number.
Yes.
Like even if they didn't take a number, they'd be like, oh, I'm the only person here.
do I need to take a number?
Yeah, and then you can say, no, I got you, and then you just do it.
Yeah.
And then the next time a person would take a number from the machine, the number will be skipped.
Yes.
Because you've given them the next number.
Well, I always thought people thought I was trying to be rude when I explained that to them. So like, oh, do I need to take a number? I'm like, not if you're the only one here, but like if you definitely want us to know you want service and like no one's really around and you can't like make eye contact with anyone, like you don't just stand here. Take a number, things will flash, people know you want things, and then we'll come get you. But like if someone's standing right fucking here, just be like, hey, can you help me? And usually they'll be like, yeah.
Yeah.
But then they'd be like, ugh. And I'd be like, you don't have to. I'm going to help you right now, but I'm just letting you know in the future, if you try that again and you get ignored, people are going to take numbers behind you and then you're going to be behind in line.
Right.
So, like, most of the time,
well,
yeah.
The thing is, if you're like looking at the case and like thinking about things and you haven't taken a number, I'm assuming you're not sure yet.
Yeah. Like, I'll ask you if you want help if you've been there and I see you, but like, you always like I'm the kind of person that has anxiety, so I'm like you always want to account for the fact people will sneak in behind you, like that you like and especially if you're not sure, getting a number and like having people help you is like the people behind the counter know what everything tastes like, so they can make recommendations, like they can help you figure out what you want. But I'm like, if you're sitting here like hemming and hawing, no one knows you want help. Or if no one's looking at you, no one can help you. And then people get behind you that know how to take fucking tickets, and now you're fifth in line.
Right.
Because no one saw you.
And trust me, the people behind the counter at a deli know what everything tastes like. Take it from me, who worked in restaurant deli retail for like a good 7 or 8 years at different places. I straight up fucking ate everything.
Yeah.
Like
even if I didn't think I'd like it, I tried it.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to know what it was like. Like I ate everything. The only thing I never ate was head cheese, because
I knew that was bad.
Literally, fuck that shit.
Oh my god, that was my worst. I hated that stuff. Sorry, Kyle, about your story, but like, oh my god,
we'll get to
there are only a few people ever in my entire time in a deli that wanted to have head cheese, and it was always old people, and they always wanted to try a piece, and they always open mouth chewed it, and it was so disgusting.
Oh yeah, like really just fucking gumming it. Yeah, head cheese is basically just like it's all the like
the little like end bits.
Yeah,
of meat.
It's the chunks of mystery meat. It's like random meat that they're like, we don't know what to do with these ends, and it's literally suspended in straight up meat flavored gelatin.
Yeah.
And you slice it off as like it's literally like slices of mystery meat encased in beef gelatin.
Yes.
That's it.
It's really gross.
It's literally mystery meat jello. And
it's not even like all blended together like a bologna. It's like squares of nasty meat with just jello.
Just clear
jello between it.
Clear jello.
Erica's probably vomiting. If she's listening to this, she's probably vomiting.
Erica, I'm so sorry. I probably should we should probably like content warning this shit. Like that's like
old people chewing. Trigger warning.
Shit's disgusting.
Anyway, Kyle's story.
Yes. So anyway, now that we understand how the number system works and the proper protocol of interacting with a deli.
Yeah. Now that we've talked about it to an extensive amount that nobody else cares about.
Right. There was one time pretty recently, says Kyle, where a customer forgot to take a number and was waiting to be helped. In order to assign a customer a number manually on our side, and I remember this, we have to use a computer screen to hit next and then issue manual number or whatever to get them in the system. Right. This is so that it gets tracked properly. The store managers want to know how many customers were serviced in a given day.
Right.
So the numbers are used to determine that information.
Easy.
But if there are customers or orders already waiting in the queue, when you click next,
it'll give you those first.
They will come up first no matter what. And right when a coworker of mine hit next, they got an ornery, middle-aged gentleman who had just, literally that second, taken a number. And so my coworker called out that number. And the customer without the number was like, oh, sorry, I've been here for a little bit, but I forgot to grab a number. My coworker performed the usual solution to this problem, which is Number 110 in this case, he says, was the number that was called. That was the number the old guy literally just took.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, number 110. This customer was here just ahead of you. We will be right with you.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, this placates them.
Yeah.
In that situation, you have to kind of make a choice. You can either say, hey, you were definitely here first and I saw you and acknowledged you, but that person grabbed a number literally half a millisecond ago.
Yeah.
So we're going to take him first, even though you were definitely here, which upsets that person. Or you can say, hey, I know you literally just a half a second ago grabbed a number, but that means you've been waiting for literally a half a second. So we're going to take you after this person who, while he did not perform the proper protocol, has literally been waiting here. Like,
for who knows how long, because we didn't know he was here.
So, like, at that point, you're making someone upset either way. The general best bet is the person who's been waiting for half a millisecond can probably afford to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Because they haven't done it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, the man holding the ticket in his hand immediately gets full-on pissed.
Okay.
He begins yelling at my coworker impatiently. I was the one who took the number. You're supposed to help me first. And my coworker was taken aback by this, but also is someone who has a bit of backbone. So they said, look, the other customer was a woman. Look, she was here first. We'll take her and we will be with you in just a moment. The man was not happy with this and immediately began demanding a manager.
Okay.
So this is like
male Karen.
This is whatever male Karen is.
I think they call him Kevin's.
I feel bad because that's my brother's name.
I know.
And he's like not like that.
They call them Kevin's or Ken's is usually what they call them.
Bro, what?
So I go with Kevin because you're Ken.
I never heard that.
Well, because I don't tell you because it makes me feel bad.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that feels like. I have a cousin named Karen. So like I like.
You guys need to stop with the K names.
Yeah. Well, listen.
We're ending it, so.
We're not ending it. We
we
have
Cora.
Yeah, we were
Well.
Yep. Told you. We may have to reconsider that one.
No, I like Cora.
I know, we're not gonna reconsider that one. Yep, we're perpetuating the stereotype.
I guess.
It lives on another year, another generation, whatever the fuck it is.
Maybe I'll end with them.
But anyway, so this man begins demanding for the manager. He has fully transcended into his Karen form.
Yes.
He has not yet reached his final form, but he has begun his monstrous transformation.
He's gonna go even further beyond.
Oh yeah, but like in the worst way.
Yeah.
The manager happened to be around at the time. They were in the back.
Perfect.
So they went and got the manager. So, of course, this customer is irate. But the manager can probably easily handle this problem.
Uh-huh.
What is likely the solution to this problem? The manager comes out, notices there is an irate customer, and the manager will then help them. That's it. Now it's done. Now they're being helped.
Yeah.
Problem solved, right? No, this was not enough for this gentleman. The manager comes out, and instead of simply circumventing the entire issue by having the manager help him and then being able to leave and go about with his day, he immediately begins demanding that she be fired.
What?
That the other coworker be fired. He's just like she is he's basically like straight up saying she's a huge fuck up. She doesn't she's completely ignoring me. You need to fire her.
No.
Yeah, that was like he went 0 to 100 just like that. He was on a warpath. He was ready to go.
What a fucker.
Yeah, this is Karen saying 3. Like he's gone further beyond.
Like that's where I wish I owned the store and be like, oh, you want her fired? How about you can't shop here anymore?
Yeah, actually, we'll kick you out, and if I see you again, I'm going to hunt you for sport.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, customer Hunger Games, that should be legal.
Absolutely.
We'll get on that.
Like add like trapdoors under the floor. Like everywhere. That way you can just hit a lever for whatever tile they're on and just trap them. And then like Karen Hunger Games.
Yeah. Every once in a while we can just press a button and it just releases the bees.
Yeah.
Like that's what we
have a special like honey that you just douse them with and then the bees attack.
And then the bees, and then just you get the bee. You have displeased me. You get the bees.
You get the bees. Spin a wheel and
it. Boiled in oil. Oh God.
You're going to be the next set of chicken tenders you sell.
Oh, good news! We have cannibals who live down the street, and they seem like they'd like you.
And we feed them people sometimes.
They're very well-paying customers.
Yes.
So anyway, so he immediately begins demanding that the coworker be fired on the spot, like right there.
Which I'm assuming didn't happen. Because if it happened, we would have heard about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. The manager was like, "No, I'm not going to do that. She didn't do anything wrong. That's actually proper protocol."
Yeah, she's literally doing her job.
Yeah. After yelling back and forth, both yelling at the coworker and then yelling to the manager,
right?
Back and forth, and then eventually yelling at the manager, just like really like just trying to dig in on this.
Right.
Meanwhile, no one's being helped because it's just an
now
argument.
there's a screaming match going on.
So like this other lady is just who like was just ahead, is just sitting there like what do I do? He storms off to the front desk and demands to see the store manager. Like the person who
the guy on top.
Yeah, the one who runs the store. Kyle says, thankfully the store manager did take our side on this and got the customer to leave. Now this is not this particular
doesn't always happen.
Yes, this particular retail grocery store, there is a notable tendency
to favor customers.
Yes, in any situation.
In every situation.
Yeah. For the most part, like telling a customer you need to leave, you can't come back is never going to happen. No matter what. Even if like we're talking on the level of like a customer being,
in most cases that's how it goes.
Emotionally or verbally harassing.
Yeah.
Like to a degree that it's like making someone feel unsafe. You'll still see that customer in a couple of days later.
Absolutely, that's happened before.
Yeah, we don't ban people from this particular store. That's just how they are. It's a super shitty practice, and I completely abhor it. But that's how they are.
Yes.
The store manager, however, did take their side, got the customer to leave, but they could hear this conversation as they got the store manager to come back over to have everybody explain the situation, and the coworker who was involved with this needed to go hide in the back because the screaming was getting to the point where this coworker's anxiety triggers were like through the roof.
Yeah.
We're talking customer like Kyle had quotes of here like customer yelling like that bitch needs to be punished.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like that kind of shit. Where it's like, first of all, completely uncalled for. Second of all, like you would have gotten your fucking you would have gotten your Wonder Bar bologna and your fucking liverwurst patty
in 5 seconds.
You would have maybe gotten that like 30 minutes ago if you didn't choose to be a piece of shit.
Absolutely.
But instead you walked in and you were just like, I am going to actively waste my own goddamn time, my blood, sweat, and tears to make
this is the hill I want to die on.
And I'm gonna make like a 19-year-old who gets paid barely minimum wage life miserable.
No, see, this is the reason I should be allowed to murder people.
This is the reason why there's The Purge. I think that whole movie series, kind of a silly concept. Do I think The Purge should be legal in retail once per year? Yes. I think there should be a day where we're just allowed to kill customers and it's not illegal. And I feel like
and no one should know when the day is.
Yeah, no, you don't. Yeah, you don't get to know. It's just like, and like we don't even advertise it. Like you walk into a grocery store and then like you just see a trail of blood and you're just like, ooh, should I shop today?
Oh, today might be the day.
You got
either someone got their period or today's the day.
Yep, that's it. It's done. Absolutely fuck that. But I think that should be legal. That in customer hunger games.
Like that's the thing too, is there's always those people, and I fucking hate these people. Like sometimes they're right, but sometimes they're not, where they're like, well, I mean, when people are mean like that, it's just like, you don't know what kind of day they're having.
I don't care what kind
of day they're having. They literally, their mom could have died, and I wish they did too.
But that's really it. It's like even if you had a bad day, like that,
you don't get to treat people like that.
It's never an excuse.
Your baggage is not their baggage. You don't get to treat people like garbage because you're sad your life sucks.
And it's the same shit. Like every retail job I've worked at, I've always had my managers tell me, like, we want to, like, give good customer service. So if you're having a rough day or something bad is happening,
leave it at the door.
Try your best. Yeah, I get that shit every time. Leave it at the door. We have to do that. Customers don't. Makes no sense.
No way. Absolutely not.
Like, there is no.
If you're going to go into public, either everyone leaves their shit at the door or no one does.
Right. Agree.
All or nothing.
Yep. That's equality, baby.
Anyways, so I'm assuming there might be a little more to the story.
I have a couple of.
Okay, I guess not. Is that where that story is?
That's that. Yeah. Well, that happened. Yeah. The customer was convinced to leave.
Okay.
Kyle says, thankfully, he's never seen them again.
Okay.
So presumably they just, like, either, like, were so frustrated they never came back.
I just hope they're embarrassed.
Or, yeah.
I hope they're so fucking embarrassed that they never come back.
Yeah, I hope they feel like they're such a complete piece of shit for having a meltdown they just can't show their face there anymore. Yeah. I hope that it's inconvenient.
I hope that they actually gave themselves a stroke and that they can never go anywhere again.
Oh my god.
I've had things like that happen. Well, not like things exactly like that.
Sure.
But I had a day, it was like one of my first weeks of work at a grocery store deli counter. Yeah. And it was I think it was like my first Sunday.
Ooh, the dreaded Sunday.
The day,
Sunday at the deli.
Yeah, the day everyone gets all their shit for some reason. The day every single mom goes to the deli counter to get, like, lunch meat for their children's lunch for the week. Like, everyone's getting everything you could possibly believe on a Sunday, on a deli. Okay. Like, our line is a crowd.
Yes.
On a Sunday.
It is a dog pile at the counter.
Like, if you're brave enough to get in that line, good, whatever. Yeah. Good luck. What the fuck?
Don't go shopping.
Just don't. Sunday. Don't go shopping on a Sunday. Do not go to the deli on a Sunday. No. But there is this woman. Like, I was just calling numbers. Because that's how it goes. Is usually on a Sunday. At least back when I was doing this, not now.
Right.
But they'd have a bunch of people in on a Sunday, and that's why the tickets are so important. Because when someone's done with a customer, they just call another person, and then it goes. But, like, a lot of the time, people would either skip numbers, or, like, people wouldn't take numbers, right. Or, like, sometimes people would trash their numbers, or, like,
and then forget.
Yeah. Or sometimes even, like, customers will hit next, or, like, sometimes employees will either hit next and not immediately call the person.
Right.
Or, like, call the wrong number or something. Like, there's error.
This would especially happen where it's also an automated system. So sometimes you would get numbers of people, and sometimes people would place their orders on digital tickets, and you would get a digital number. So sometimes you would be like, okay, I have this whole thing, and then you'd call it so that it would call out the digital number.
And they wouldn't immediately call the next person so they could put up the order.
The next person's number is up under their name. Say it's number 84.
Yeah.
So 84 is up on their number, but they are taking the things they just did and then placing them in a pile and putting them in a place so that the person with the digital order can come pick it up.
Then they're going to call their number, but they're in the middle of something.
Let's say in the 8 seconds that they're, like, packaging everything and putting it in a place while that number's up, then number 85 gets called by a different person. Mm-hmm. 84 is just like, well, what the fuck,
And that's exactly what happened to me. Yeah. Because somebody called, 84... or they, like, put it up on their thing, and they were doing whatever. And I call 85.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman that was 84 becomes completely pissed. She's like, you skipped me. And I was like, what? And she goes, you skipped me. What the fuck are you doing? Like, do you even know how to do your job? Like, can you even count? Like, what the fuck's happening? Like, I've been standing here for, like, 30 minutes, and, like, you're just gonna skip me?
Oh, they're always standing there for 30 minutes.
Always 30 minutes.
Everyone's been there for 30 minutes, yeah.
And I was like, ma'am, I'm just doing the fucking numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell happened or what's going on, but if you would just talk to me like a person, we will fucking figure it out.
Yeah.
And I said it mostly without the swearing, but it was pretty much word for word except for the fuckings.
Right, yeah.
I was like, if you just talk to me like a person, we'll figure it out and you will be helped.
Right.
If you come up to me and you're like, I've been skipped, I'll probably just take you.
Yeah.
But when you act like that, I don't want to be anywhere near you.
Right.
And
what's the thing? What an easy fix that would be. You called a number next, and then this was like, oh, I'm 84, I should be next. Then you just literally, like, Easiest fix in the world. You turn
You
to the
figure
person,
it
you
out.
figure out who has 84. You look at the screen. It has their name and their number on it. You turn and you're like, hey, can you help this next person? I'm
Are
going to
you
take
on
them first.
84? And they go, yeah. And then you're like, cool, they will help you. Or unless you're dedicated to me for some fucking reason,
Right.
because sometimes they are, because you called a number.
Right.
I'll help you, and
You are
they
now
can go to the
soul
next
bound.
one. But I was like, I'm just hitting the thing and calling the numbers that come up.
Mhm.
I'm literally just doing my job. So if you would like to calm down,
Yeah.
we will figure out who's helping you.
Right.
Or if you really want me to help you, I will help you. But we got to figure out someone who's going to take the next one.
Girl, you're right.
And she was like, oh. Especially because then it was like Dawn or something, one of the people working there.
Yeah.
She came up and she's like, oh, I had that number. And I was like, okay, are you all right now?
Yeah. Are you
And
good?
she's like, oh.
Oh.
Oh, wow, it was that fucking easy.
Yeah.
Well, especially because I was new to working at that place, so I really didn't care about the job at that point.
Right.
So sometimes I just talked to customers how I wanted to talk to customers.
Yeah, absolutely. Which should be the way. Like that should be the way it is. We make people like the customer service culture that we have in the United States makes people so fucking entitled. Like straight up boomers are spoiled brats because we've trained them to be spoiled brats.
Well, I'd seen the lady since, and she like really didn't want me to take her at any point. She would usually want somebody else to take care of her.
Embarrassed because she acted like a dumb shit in 2 seconds.
Got schooled by a fucking 18-year-old.
Yeah, right. It's like, well, and earned it.
But there aren't many times where I speak out like that to customers.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gonna be a giant bitch, like especially, I'm like, I'll lose my job. I don't care. Well, when I was 18, I didn't care. I was like, I'll just go home and like do chores for allowance. Like, fuck you. I came to do this job because I was bored.
Right.
Not because I wanted to get harassed.
Terrible.
Now I do it less because I actually need a job. But God, those days were great.
Yeah, remember you were so innocent when you didn't have to pay a bunch of bills and shit. You were just having to spend in money. Yeah. Oh, my student loans.
Yeah, but
now I sell my soul for far less.
That shit lives in my brain forever. But also one of my favorite things is when people demand you check in the back for things.
Oh my God.
Because it's like, sir or madam.
Yeah.
I like live in the back pretty much. Especially if it's been a busy day. I know what we have and I know what we don't. Because if I don't know, I will offer to go check for you.
Yeah.
Usually I've been around these things. Oh, do you have any oven gold turkey? I don't know. Let me go check. I know because I've been using it all fucking day.
Yeah.
And I know we don't have any.
Yeah, it's gone now.
I know its spot is empty. We haven't had anyone bring in a load because it's not our load day. So no, we don't have any. We've even used the one in the case for display. So no, we don't have any. But they're like, well, could you check? My very favorite thing to do is go, oh yes, of course. Mm-hmm. And then just go in the back and like check my phone for like however fucking long.
Yeah, like a minute. Give it a good minute.
And then I go back and I go, I've checked everywhere. It's not there.
Yeah, wow, I really can't find it. Yeah, fuck that. So I have a couple of changing gears a little bit.
Okay.
I have a couple of holiday retail ones.
Okay.
From Reddit. This is an experience. This one it's short and it doesn't really have like a whole thing, but it's like it resonates with me because I have had to experience this.
Okay.
The last couple of years, I work at a God. This
you can just put it as you work as like a barista.
Well, I do sometimes work as a barista. I have to like it might give it away to some people, but there's enough independent chains out there that
you're a barista and bookseller.
Yes, I'm a barista who works at a place, a retail bookseller. Mm-hmm. I work at a retail bookseller. And this Reddit post at r/ask/retail.
Okay.
This resonated with me.
Okay.
Because it happens before every major holiday. It especially happens on Christmas Eve.
Oh, God.
And I've worked the Christmas Eve closing shift every year of the 3 years. Now going on 3 years that I've worked at this book retailer.
I just took Christmas Eve off of my job, and I'm so excited.
We're not allowed to. Starting with December 1st. No requests off.
Oh.
You're not allowed. No.
Well, my Subway, luckily enough, as lots of Subways are independently owned.
Right.
And the way that nobody really understands for some reason, which is like another customer thing. Sorry to cut you off of your Reddit story.
Yeah, you're fine.
For some reason, people don't understand that, like, even in a chain, some of the stores can be independently owned.
Right.
Which means they get to make choices for themselves.
That are different from what you would expect from, like, a corporate store.
Yeah. And, so, like, they get to decide, for the most part, which, like, specialty products they carry.
Sure.
Like, what kind of, like, decisions they want to make with, like, their decor, or, like, their layout of the way they keep things.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have the sweet peppers or whatever, which apparently I don't even know those are a thing.
I've heard of them, yeah.
People really like them, and they get really pissed off that we don't have them. But also that means they can, like, keep as many employees as they want or as little as they want.
Right.
And they also don't have, like, specialty benefits or, like, any time restrictions on what you can take off unless they're taking a vacation and they're like, you can't take this off because then no one will be here.
Right. That makes sense.
But they usually tell us way in advance.
Yeah, makes sense.
And they also, like, write it in the calendar so you know. But that means that they have holidays off, obviously, but that means I can take whatever days off I want as long as a bunch of people aren't there.
Right.
And no one else had Christmas Eve written off, so I wrote it off. And if they're like, oh, well, we need you to be here, I can just be like, no, I put it in there a month ago.
Yeah, nobody saw it. That's actually, there's another Reddit one about that, so we'll get to that one.
Okay, sorry, continue your story.
So the first one, last year, this person says, I worked the Christmas Eve closing shift. I worked in clothing retail, which is a nightmare, by the way. And we close at 6 p.m. In the hour leading up to closing, the 5 to 6 o'clock hour, I received 37 phone calls.
Jeez,
from customers. Each of us, this person says, each of us had a personal tally. That was mine. They personally took 37 phone calls in 1 hour.
Jeez.
Each of those 37 calls specifically called just to ask what time they closed.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Christmas Eve.
We close at 6 o'clock. You have 1 hour, and you're calling with 1 hour left.
Yes.
So odds are, the later those calls go on, the less likely that you're going to get what you need.
Yes.
This person said, of those 37, 14 of those immediately jump into yelling, screaming, berating me. Some of my favorite quotes, you're the reason my child's Christmas will be ruined.
Doesn't seem like that.
Seems like you choosing to buy your child's Christmas presents on Christmas Eve is the reason your child.
Seems like you deciding to buy your child's Christmas presents at 5:30 on Christmas Eve and having nowhere else you can get them gifts is the problem.
Another favorite quote, oh my god, 6 o'clock? Oh my god, I can't make it. My wife's gonna fucking divorce me.
That sounds like a you issue.
Yep.
Also, like, that is also just a thing that appalls me. Your wife's gonna divorce you because you can't get her a Christmas gift?
Well, also think about it. It's clothing retail. This is like you ruined my child's Christmas because he didn't get his favorite pair of jeans. Like,
my wife's gonna divorce me because I didn't get her a sweater.
Yeah, like, I'm sure she'll be fine. Apparently, no child can enjoy their Christmas without whatever last-minute sweater, pair of jeans, or comfy socks they were supposed to be getting. And apparently, it is our fault that they wait until 6 p.m. Christmas Eve to do any of their shopping.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally what we just fucking said.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, I placed an order earlier today. My book came in, right? Yeah, we have it under this name. It's waiting on the back counter. Oh, awesome. Cool. Yeah, well, I mean, all right, yeah, I'll probably be by around like 6:30-ish. It's like, sir, unfortunately we close at 6 o'clock. But Google says 9. Yeah, it's Christmas Eve. We're not open till 9.
You know what Google also says? Hours are due to change on special occasions.
Literally does say that in red when you check us on Google. That being said,
but you didn't read that part because you didn't like that part.
Yeah, I don't like that part. It's like, oh, I'm not going to be able to make it out there in time. What am I going to do about my book?
Find someone who can.
Order it early next time.
Do none of you have friends?
Yeah, like, get somebody to pick it up. That's the thing. Is that like with our per buy online orders, the orders are purchased ahead of time.
Yeah.
digitally. We process the orders through our computer system by scanning it, and then it goes. You do not exchange a payment. So if you can't, it's like, oh well, what am I supposed to do? Get my buddy to come pick up my like $80 like order of books?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's going to charge you literally the credit card you put in $80. It's not going to charge a friend. They literally just have to like you just have to call us and tell us, hey, so and so name is going to be picking up my books, and then we'll just fucking give it to them.
Yes. Like, usually the thing is when you're making an order for anything, they just ask you for your name.
Yeah.
Especially if it's already paid for.
Yeah.
Give them your name.
You can give us.
If they're your friend, they know your name.
Yeah, absolutely. So fucking dumb. It blows my mind, but we get this every year. People just like, well, that's not enough time. That's also not my problem.
Maybe don't be such a cunt that you at least have one friend that can go help you.
Yep. Oh, God. So there's that. Another good one. And this one's one of those grumpy customers. Like we've all had this, but we get this a lot at our store because of how like coupons and sales coupons and sales work, especially like sales stickers.
Yeah.
That's a book retailer. So sales stickers are usually placed in the corners of the books. Now they're stuck to the book. That was
there's a dog squeaker.
Cute squeak toy. Stickers are placed in the corners of the books.
Uh-huh.
Now, occasionally, customers who are trying to pull a fast one will squeeze the sticker off and put it on a different book. Now, I know what is a bargain book and what is a hardcover bestseller that was released 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So if you come up to me with the newest James Patterson mystery title with an $8 bargain sticker on it, I'm going to fucking laugh at you.
Yeah.
And it's not. And you're not getting it for $8. It's a $30 book.
Yeah.
No.
If you like people's stuff, maybe pay them for it.
Right. Well, it's hardcovers are expensive. No, don't buy them then.
I love hardcovers.
Yeah.
I will pay you $100 for a hardcover of anything.
Oh yeah, yeah. Baby's a big fan of hardcovers.
I like hardcovers.
Hell yeah. She got that library and shit. She's cooking with it.
That's like that. I'm one of those people where I saw a thing about people talking about how they get irritated when you can't get one book in hardcover anymore, and it's like part of a series, and like you can't get one in hardcover, and the rest of them are in hardcover. I'm like, just throw the whole series away.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't want to.
I don't want one in softcover with the rest in hardcover.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Yeah, you're right. This person says, I've been working at for the same company for 6 years. We've relocated stores 3 times. So they've gone to different of the same chain, but they've been working at that company.
Uh-huh.
This incident happened at the first store during my very first Christmas season in retail.
Oh, God.
The company I work for prides itself on being a one-stop shop, even more so around Christmas. I was one of 10 cashiers that day. There was a lineup going out of the queue line and looping around, so we were doing our very best to bust the line.
Mm-hmm.
I had a gentleman who brought up a pair of underwear to purchase with a markdown sticker.
Undies.
Our markdown stickers don't have physical SKU numbers on them, just a price and a barcode.
Right.
So if it's incorrect, the SKU on the red sticker won't match the SKU on the original tag. It'll give them an alert.
Right.
I scanned the gentleman's underwear, and the SKU came up for a different department entirely. In this case, it means the sticker for the bargain price was improperly placed, presumably by a customer, because usually you don't fuck that shit up.
Yeah, usually the people that are doing clothing goods in a store doesn't, like, put a bag of cereal on undies.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. No big deal anyway. That's an easy fix. As I was explaining to the gentleman what happened, people doing markdowns are extremely busy. Accidents happened. We even say that. We'll tell people, like, oh yeah, accidents happened. It looks like the sticker was put on the wrong place. We're, like, not supposed to say a customer probably fucked with it.
You're trying to spare them their pride and their feelings and be like, wow, we must have fucked up, and give you a chance to own up to it and accept it.
Yeah,
because it's wrong.
But the problem with that is that, like, I feel like we should be able to say, oh, people move those, and I'll do it too. Like, I'm not supposed to. I'll do it in the store. But Oh, yeah, people just see the stickers on the floor sometimes and they just put them on whatever book that's nearby. It's not supposed to be that. Because as soon as and this is my experience, as soon as I say, oh, well, accidents happen, but that's not supposed to be that way. Someone must have put the wrong sticker on it. They're just like, well, that
Well,
sounds like that's you.
if you
Yeah.
put it on there, then that means that that's the price it's got to be.
Yeah, exactly. And then I find that people do that all the time. So I was just like, oh, some customer must have picked it up.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, oh, well, should you have to pay for their fucking behavior?
Then it puts neither of you at fault.
Right.
And you're like, wow, well, we're just going to put it to the price it should be.
Exactly. So anyway, as I was explaining to the gentleman what had happened, saying that the accidents happen, he angrily dumps everything in his basket onto the counter in front of me, minus a leather belt that he had draped over the side of his cart. As he was storming away, the customer being served at the till next to me says, "Hey, what about the belt in your basket?" So the guy picks up the belt and full tilt whips it at me.
Whoa.
If he gave me a minute to fix the problem after explaining to him, I was going to honor that sticker price for him. TLDR, dude got mad that his undies were $5.99 instead of $4, instantly freaked out, threw a leather belt at me, and now 6 years later, I'm still hopelessly stuck in retail.
God.
Brutal.
No, like if you like hit people with belts like at their job, you should not be allowed back. Yeah,
You're the first contestant in the Hunger Games.
I hope you die.
It should be the Karen Games. Good customers can move through and they are perfectly fine. We wait. We do a reaping every day. The first customer that pissed somebody off, boom, pull the trap door. You're the next contestant. Second we get to 24 contestants, we're gonna fucking throw you in the Thunderdome.
It would never end.
Oh yeah, no, it would never
pure
end.
Entertainment.
It's just like it delays your death. The more Karens we get, the faster you are going to die.
Eventually, it would end. People would realize that they needed to either be nice or die.
Well, that's the dream. That's what we want. I'm
not saying that's a problem.
It's a paradise. It's a utopia. Here's the last Reddit story I think we're going to do for tonight.
Okay.
This one is actually not a. This is not a retail customer story. This is a retail manager story.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Even better because they have power over you.
Yep. I will not even begin to have conversations about management that I have dealt with in my life. Not speaking to any particular retail establishment that I worked, but I have worked for and or are currently working for managers who make me want to die. But that's beside the point. This is in tribute to that. Okay. One year, I really wanted to get those 3 days from December 24th to December 26th off for my family. We are allowed to ask for time off 6 months in advance, and it can be placed on the calendar and honored. So June 24th, I submit my request, even though I wasn't expecting much. To my delight and utter amazement, I checked back a few days later, and my time off was approved.
Ooh, I hope you screenshot that shit.
Hell yeah. Well, that's it. On a whim, I printed out several copies of this right then, just in case. Fast forward 5 months. I survived Black Friday. It's almost December, and all my Christmas plans are well set by now. Without warning, I'm summoned into the office, where my manager sits me down and begins berating me for 20 minutes about how I should definitely give up my vacation.
No.
Because they need help those days.
No.
She doesn't know who approved my request, but they clearly made a mistake. It's selfish to even ask, she says.
No.
And you're delusional to expect to get Christmas Eve off. You work in retail. No one else in the store is getting Christmas Eve off. Why should you? Are you sure you can't come in at 6 in the morning and work a full shift on the 24th, then take Christmas, the only day the store is ever actually closed, same here, off, and then come in for the late night on the 26th? As politely as I could, I informed her that my request was approved 6 months ago. It is far too late to change my plans. I'm not willing to give up seeing my family and also the hundreds of dollars I paid on flights. There's no policy against asking for those days off. And someone should have noticed sooner which days they were accepting for vacation and spoken to me before. No, I will not be working.
Mm-hmm.
The woman literally begins screaming at me that I'm ruining the holiday for everyone else at the store and how terrible I am before storming out of her own office. I
Okay.
survive 3 more months with her, holding a grudge against me before I move out of state and thankfully never have to see this woman again. By far, that manager was the worst part of my job. I'd take Black Friday in the toy section any day or dealing with her again. I literally feel like maybe this person worked at my store.
Yeah.
Because, like, all of this feels like a thing. Like, it feels like a thing. Especially, like, the whole, like, oh, I take Black Friday. Like my book retailer now carries toys ever since Toys R Us went out of business.
Right.
So
that your place has had toys for a long time.
That's true. That's true.
I spend lots of time in bookstores, like multiple different types. I've been to millions. I've been to at least a few different bookstores that there aren't many that have been opened in my lifetime. But if it's been opened in my lifetime, I've probably been there, unless it hasn't been in Connecticut.
True. That's fair.
And your place has had books for like a long time. I mean, books. Your place has had toys for a long time.
Okay. So
yeah, your bookstore has had books for so long.
Oh my god, we even have entire like sections of books, like whole areas where you can get like different.
They didn't have very many books when I first went there, but like I've been going for so long, and they've had books for a really long time.
Oh no.
Brain fart.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Bless the podcast with that accent. That was dope. Okay, so I have, for my own personal stories, I have to just kind of round out the end of our little retail podcast. I've got 3 bookstore stories.
Okay.
And I've got 1 early high school deli story.
Okay.
Start with the high school deli.
Yeah, start with the early stuff.
This is the place I worked at with Kyle. So Kyle, you hopefully will remember this story. It involves a coworker whom I will not give his last name, but we will refer to by his first name. Well, Chris. Okay. His name is Chris.
Okay.
He was kind of a goofball, but we all loved Chris.
Okay.
A little bit of a weirdo. Maybe a little emotionally dangerous. But not at work. He's a cool guy at work.
Okay.
I was on shift. Chris is on shift.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle was maybe in the back. Mm-hmm. He was on shift, but I do not think he was present at the time.
Okay.
I was only present for part of it. We have a guy.
Uh-huh.
This guy comes in. Does not matter what the temperature is, whether it is hot in the summer, whether it is snow on the ground in the winter. This man comes in like kind of like he's like a probably like in his mid 60s, older guy, pretty rotund, definitely like most elements of his body are beginning to droop and sag a bit with his age, though has a bit of vigor to him. Like he's very alive, very animated, very verbal. Comes in with like maybe just a size too tight khaki shorts, like a Hawaiian shirt,
okay,
and a straw hat,
all right,
with sunglasses. At any time of the year, he comes in. Sunglasses are on like one of those little like strings. You hang them over your neck. Either has them on or he has them down, and they're just kind of hanging down like a necklace.
But this sounds like a wilting Santa in the summer.
Basically, yeah, that's exactly what he was like. This man, distinctly, is European. His accent denoted some sort of Slavic country, or possibly somewhere in the Alps, some sort of strange mixture of Swiss and French.
Okay.
But he's got a vaguely Slavic accent. He would always come in and order his sandwich a very particular way. He made sandwiches at this particular.
Delis usually do.
Yes. He would order his sandwich a very particular way. It was always we put it on this sub roll, and there's a you want to get the biggest tomatoes. I need the big tomatoes. You need to do it like put like 4 tomatoes on. They gotta be near each other. He had like a little bit of an Italian, like a little Italian spice in there. But that was kind of his accent. I hope I'm doing it justice. Kyle, like let me know. I feel like you know this guy now. But he would always come in. Usually he was fine. If a little bit demanding. He wasn't the type to typically say thank you until you were done with his sandwich. He usually would just kind of like command how the sandwich would be made and dictate to you as if he was like reading off a script and judging you if you got it wrong. And then once you handed him, say, "Oh, thank you, man. Have a great day. Thank you so much." And then you would leave. But you would withhold all of that until you had correctly made a sandwich.
Right.
Almost like it was a game. Like he was dangling a little bit of bait on a string for you and pulling it back. So he comes in, and Chris is making this guy's sandwich. The tomatoes we have in there, we're running a little low on tomatoes. It's been busy, and we might not have easily accessible ones. He's making do with the little shreds of tomato we have left. So he's putting the sandwich on there. Oh yeah, no, do that tomato. He pulls that one. Oh no, not that. Do you have a different tomato? Those are not enough tomato. Maybe you do 2. But he's kind of like dictating. Chris is just like, okay, like kind of doing that. So I'm sitting there, I'm helping another customer. I'm like scooping fucking potato salad or something. I'm like doing anything, but I'm hearing this guy talking because everyone can hear him talking. He's very loud.
Yeah.
This guy next to him, the customer next to him, I'm not helping him, someone else is helping him. He's there with his like 6-year-old son. Man's in a business suit. Looks like he just came from like an important business meeting and picked his child up from daycare.
Yeah.
And is now on his way home, but stopped off to get some salad and some meat or something.
Doing like shopping while his business lady wife is still at work.
Yeah, something like that. Most likely. Run-of-the-mill guy. No problem. But he's not used to mysterious Straw Hat Man.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand that this is how he is.
Yeah.
So he's sitting there dictating and being like, "Oh, no, not you want with a little more thickness. I like the tomatoes to be thick." That kind of thing. And this gentleman, bless his heart, makes the biggest mistake you can ever make with Straw Hat Man. He turns to him and says, "Sir, maybe cut him a little bit of slack. He's trying his best." Without missing a beat. Turns to this man, stares him right in his face with his 6-year-old son next to him, and goes, "Hey, man, fuck you. I'm making my sandwich how I want to make my sandwich."
God.
The guy goes pale white, grabs his son's ears. I'm like frozen. I got like half a scoop of potato and egg salad. I just let it slip off the side, and I'm like, ooh. He shouts that. He screams it. It's a small store. The fucking cashiers heard it. Our store manager is booking it over. He runs over. The guy at this point, he hands him the sandwich, and he just kind of looks at the other guy at the business unit. He's like, "Piss off," and he walks away. And the guy's just like, "Whoa!" Like he just like exploded on this dude. Now our store manager, for some reason, thinks Chris just told this guy to fuck off.
Oh.
So it turns into a whole thing.
Like, dude, look at your fucking security cameras.
Yeah. We had to
also, I'm not like English, British, Italian.
Right? Yeah, Slavic. Yeah, I'm not Polish, Italian, British, Russian, whatever.
French.
Yeah. Eventually, it takes like 3 or 4 minutes of conversation to sort this out, and thankfully, the man in the business suit was just like, "No, the customer was the one who freaked out. Your guy's fine." And it all gets sorted out. But we were like, yeah, he kind of made that guy feel uncomfortable. Like, you should probably like not let him come back. Like he basically just screamed,
like,
"Fuck off!"
Cussed out a dude and his son.
Yeah, he just like screamed "fuck you" to a 6-year-old, basically. Like, he probably shouldn't be allowed back in the store. Nope.
Yeah, I figured.
No. Yeah, no. This was we catered to only the wealthiest of fine people in that particular rich Connecticut town, and we did not want to lose his business because those sandwiches made us so much money. So yeah, he would keep coming back, and we.
I mean, I'm on business dude's side. He seemed like he was the real victim in all this.
Yeah, he absolutely was. And we had to walk on eggshells around that guy pretty much forever because at that point we kind of knew he can just straight up snap whenever he wants.
He'll snap if you just say anything to him, apparently.
Yeah.
Even if you gently say, hey, maybe just cut him some slack. It's like, then it becomes fuck you, piss off.
Yeah. Piece of shit. Did not like that guy after that. I always thought he was like a little bit funny, if annoying. But no, that was it. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Now, bookstore time.
I would have spit in his sandwich from that point on.
Oh, man, I wish. I've wanted to so bad. I've never done it. I know people who have, but
I was gonna say, I hope this doesn't, make anybody that listens think less of me, but I have spit in people's food.
Oh, have you?
Absolutely.
Oh, bless your heart. They deserve. If it was you, I know they deserve it.
Yeah. Well, the thing was what is it? It was only to people that deserved it, except there was one instance where I made a slip up, and I thought a sandwich was for a different person who was being a cunt, but instead it was for a very nice, other person they were with.
No.
But I did get my karma for it because I was so upset about it with myself that I made myself sick.
Oh no.
And it hasn't stopped me from spitting in people's food from that point on, but I made sure it was for the person I was spitting in.
Yeah, you got to verify.
I've only ever had one slip up, and it was when I was younger and stupider. I felt so bad that I actually made myself really sick. TMI coming out both ends. I was sick.
Oh no. The fountain of doom.
Yeah, I made myself it might have just been a placebo effect.
Sure.
But the next day I was violently ill.
Yeah. From anxiety.
Yeah, I think. I don't, because I didn't, it was after a day I was done. It wasn't like I had a stomach bug or anything was nuts. I made myself sick. And I was and there I go. There's the karma. But,
the just desserts were returned.
Yes. But, the only other people that I've ever done that to have been people that, continuously, I kind of do what the sandwich guy did to your friend.
Yeah.
It's oh no, I don't want this, I want that. Oh no, I don't want this, I want that. Oh no, I don't want this, I want that. Oh, do you have any of this? And then I need to go get it in the back. If you send me to the back after a bunch of that shit, if you're not my friend and I know you personally, I've spit in your food.
Yeah, I'm spitting in it. Yeah, 100%. I'm giving you a slobbery tomato.
Oh yeah.
Slobbery lettuce. I'm just gonna
absolutely. I've picked a specific whatever you had me go get that I've taken out and licked and then put back on the clean side so it doesn't touch anybody else's stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'll put it back and then I'll grab exactly what I know I put down because it's out of place now.
Mm-hmm.
And I know which ones they are.
You're right.
And now my spit is in your food.
It's a beautiful thing. Hunger Games, that's what I'm saying. Could be worse. You could be dead. We could be hunting you for sport. But at least all you got is a spitty sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good. It's too fucking funny.
Go ahead. Send it to my managers. They won't fucking care.
So, I've got two good stories about special types of Karens.
Mm-hmm.
Which are pretty short. They're just kind of profiles of characters that I have to deal with on a somewhat weekly basis. And then one very recent story of just a weirdly unfortunate circumstance that everyone who's worked in retail for a long enough time has had to deal with at some point.
Okay.
The first two. My first customer. So desperately I want to use her name on this podcast because at work it has become a sort of, it is a call. To hear her name uttered over the headsets that we wear to communicate with each other across the store is to understand that a nightmare has entered our place of work and we will not be safe until it is left. Merely the utterance of her name shudders fear into the hearts of millions. But I can't use her name because God forbid that somehow gets back to work. I could get in so much trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that she is a crazy cat lady-esque figure who walks with a bit of a hunch and a crooked hand, much like a strange wood witch, but with
none of the good. Wood witch,
none of the good. There's literally no good. It's only like shitty stereotypes of hags.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's a hag. I was gonna say wood witches are only good.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, she like all of the negative stereotypes of hag-esque creatures. This is her. And
She's
she.
the Annis hag from our
Yes, no,
countdown.
yeah, she's absolutely an anus hag. She's a bit of an anus hag personally, but
Mm-hmm.
anyway, bad pun. She shares a name with a like full first and last name with a somewhat popular writer of mystery novels, particularly mystery novels that take place in or around World War One and Two. And there is a dearth of novels that are about planes or pilots.
Who writes
Um,
mystery novels about World War One or two?
a lot of people. There's lots of mysteries, like spies and shit.
Oh,
Yeah, there's lots of spies. They're like spy novels.
okay.
Yeah. But this individual, she writes spy novels. This is not the same person, but they share the exact same first and last name.
Okay.
So that'll give you a clue. This person is a literal nightmare.
Okay.
Um,
Don't talk about nightmares that way.
it has gotten to, not
The D and
not
D 5e creature
not
that's
the
a
cute
horse.
fire horse. Just the bad kind.
Yeah.
She is, for some reason, believes she is best friends with our store manager, mostly because our store manager
Has to deal with her.
well, also in a weird way, finds her morbidly hilarious because just the things that she requests and complains about are so absurd.
Mm-hmm.
And our manager, for some reason, she's built this rapport with our manager where our manager can like say certain things to her and just like the cosmic laws rewrite themselves to make it okay no matter how much she dishes on her. My manager once saw her sitting in like the comfy chairs reading through a book once.
Right.
And at this point, she'd been coming in for years and she knew her for years. And my manager was like, I can get away with this. So she walks up to her while she's reading, and she noticed she was kind of like looking a little pale and
Mm-hmm.
like kind of tired, and she was like out of breath while she was reading. So she walks up to this problem customer and she goes, "Wow, you look like shit." Says it right to her face. Our manager, yeah, she was like, "I'm gonna go for it." And the cosmic laws rewrote themselves. I could never say that to her, but she said it, and then she's just like, "Huh, what? Do you think so? Oh, well, I'll have to figure out what. Yeah, I've been feeling a little under the weather. I'll have to go get it checked out." She comes back in 3 days later and she's like, "I'm so glad you told me that. I had a carbon monoxide leak in my house and it was making me slowly die."
Oh my god.
So, like, she walked up and she's like, "I'm just going to tell her she looks like dog shit and I'm going to see what happens." And the universe rewrote itself and suddenly she saved her life and now they're best friends. But anyone so much as like gives her a little bit of pushback on anything else that's not my store manager, it's hell on earth.
Mm-hmm.
My store manager can get away with anything. I don't know how the fuck, like, I don't know what karmic god she is blessed by, but every time she, like, just
It's
absolutely.
probably nothing. It's probably just the two old white ladies being bitches to each other dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's probably it. But, I've heard horror stories about this person before. There was a very lovely worker who I've heard nothing but good about. I never actually worked with her, but she worked in the cafe at our bookstore um, before I started there.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe that she is adopted and that she is nationality South Korean.
Okay.
I think so, or at least this is how it was explained to me.
Who is this now?
An employee of ours.
Okay.
This person would constantly go to the cafe while she was working, not to order coffee, just to be like, "I'm just so curious where you come from. Can you tell me where you come from?" To the point that we had to get like corporate involved and be like, our manager at the company be like, "You can't ask my employees that question. You can't do that." And she was so incensed, so offended at the idea that she couldn't just know, because she desperately needed to know what her nationality was. That
It's not your business.
She followed her to her car after hours so that she could try to look in her car and see if she could find like maps or flags that denoted her nationality.
What the fuck?
And they found her stalking around the car, and she's like, "Oh, I wanted to know if you had like a Chinese flag or something."
How does she still work there?
No, she doesn't work there. She's a customer.
Oh, it's like, what?
This is the same lady.
No, the lady that's stalking the...
That's the customer.
That's the customer.
The customer is stalking the employee.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't make that clear. The employee is the person who is of Asian nationality.
Okay.
The customer was so curious about her nationality that she would follow her to her car and like try to figure it out by using context clues.
Please tell me she isn't allowed in the store anymore.
Oh no, she comes in it like every week. Because we can't tell people to go. We need their business. We're a book retailers are struggling, and so we need every dollar we can get. So we can't scare customers away or tell them they can't come back. We literally cannot ban people from the store.
I'm gonna come take a poop in your store.
Oh no,
they can't tell me not to come back.
They kind of get there, but that's besides.
They can't tell me not to come back after that. So
that's. You know what? That's an experiment. That's scientific method at work.
I'm gonna come back every day. I'll spend $1, and I'm gonna shit on the every day to see how long it takes to actually get banned.
Oh my god, I'm scared, and I also like low key want to see what happens.
Well, especially because then all your coworkers will eventually know that you're dating me.
Well, some of them know you already anyway too.
They'd be like, "Is that your girlfriend taking a shit on me?"
Oh yeah, she does that. It's like
I love her.
Yeah, I love. Oh, that's my woman. Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does this a lot. It's just that she's marking her territory. She's just letting you know who's boss.
See, I've been going to work for so long. I haven't been telling her because she does this everywhere we go.
But yeah. So basically, the whole point of that is like I feel like everybody has that one customer, the one that like she calls corporate so much that corporate blocks her calls.
Mm-hmm.
Our corporate office has like a caller ID.
Yeah.
And if she calls, they don't pick up.
Oh, I do that to There are a bunch of kids that think it's fucking hilarious to like prank call us.
Oh, sure.
And it's really fucking funny because I'll pick up and I go, Subway in the place I live, what can I get for you? And they're like, sometimes they don't say anything.
Right, okay.
And I'm like, whatever, and I just hang up. Because what they want is for you to go, hello? And then they're like, it's so funny. So I just sit there and don't say anything. And eventually they hang up and I'm like, so funny.
Cool. Yeah,
but sometimes they say stupid shit that doesn't make any sense. And if they do say things, I block the number.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I'm like, haha, your mom's gonna be pissed when she realizes she can't call the Subway anymore.
Yeah.
And she's gonna be like, why can't I call them?
Yeah. Oh, we block prank callers, so obviously your kids were prank calling.
Yeah, so someone was prank calling off of your phone. So like anybody that prank calls, I block.
That's smart. I like that. That's really funny.
Yeah, I love it. Especially because Krishna and Shanti don't. Oops.
Yeah. Whoops.
I'm so used to saying their names.
Yeah.
They're fake names.
It'll be fine. Yeah. I'm so used to saying they're made up.
Yeah, I'm so used to saying the names I made up for them that.
Nice save. I don't think they'll notice.
I don't think they will. My managers, I've already said their name, so it doesn't matter. But my managers don't really know that I do that.
Oh, I see.
But even if so, I'm sure they really wouldn't care because they just pick up the phone, and then if they get prank callers, they just go back and they hang it up. So it's just like whatever. They probably have dealt with less prank calls, so they probably don't care.
It helps in the long run. Yeah, I think it's funny.
Plus, you can call in the remote orders now, so it's not like most of the people are actually like calling us anyway.
Right, that's true.
So most of the actual phone calls are just them calling us to ask us what we're doing, which they can see us through the cameras, so I don't understand. It's them calling us to ask us what we're doing. We're prank callers. So I just spend my day cleaning a store and blocking prank callers.
It's pretty fun.
And making old man's soup like 500 degrees.
Yeah, the best part. Oh my god. Yeah. I love that. I wish we could do that. Unfortunately, we cannot.
You can't make someone's book 500 degrees?
We could. I have an oven.
There you go.
We have an oven in the cafe. We could totally do that.
Ah, that's what you need to do, to start lighting books on fire and throwing them at people.
Oh, yeah, projectiles. That's part of the Hunger Games.
Pretty sure burning books isn't illegal.
I mean, I would imagine that's probably true in the United States. We're just fascisty enough.
Yeah.
That like burning books feels like a thing that like happens.
It's barely legal, but it is.
Yeah. Anyway, so on that note,
Christmas.
happy holidays. On that note, there's another lady, another customer of ours, whom I barely recognize her, but when I see her, it's good. Like she's not like a pain in the ass to the degree that it's like I know it's going to be a whole problem. She's just one of those people who's like, you can tell that her kids don't talk to her anymore for probably really good reasons. And so then she comes in and it's like, now it's time, but there's like a certain limit. There's a certain limit to how much normal conversation she can have before she immediately goes to like nutso town. So our listeners, some of you may be vaguely aware. Well, first I'll preface with this. We have the way that a bookstore works is you put books that are best sellers or popular sellers up front on display tables, because then people can see them and they buy more of them. And you put books that do not sell a lot just on the bookshelves
where they belong, alphabetically.
Alphabetically, so that people can find them, but that they are not necessarily right front and center, because
they're not best sellers.
They're not books that sell well enough that we want to devote front of store space.
They're not new or best sellers, because they put new books out in the aisles too.
That's true. And they're out for a period of time. We have this one list. So that's an important thing. Is
this the lady I know about?
Yeah, you probably do. There is no stereotyping to how we display the books. We simply put out the books that are new or that are best sellers. They go in the front. That's it. Also, Percy's coming to say hello.
Our cat opened our door.
He got the door open. Yeah, buddy. Okay, well we'll do it live.
He wants it on the podcast and he's letting himself in. Anyway, continue.
This woman, this customer, our listeners, if you are not familiar with the conspiracy theory Facebook mom-esque group known as QAnon, spare yourself. But basically, they're like people who think that that everyone in the government is like mole people or something, and that
lizard people.
Yeah, and that Trump was like the second coming of Jesus or some other weird bullshit.
I feel like it's a different end of that stick.
Sure. But this woman, and there's like a thing, there's like memes around of like QAnon people who get like way too deep into it, and then like their kids are like, we can't associate ourselves with you because every time we try to have a normal conversation with you, you just talk about how
much you want Trump's dick in your butt.
Yeah, and well, sure, and but also you mostly just spend time trying to convince us that majority
that Obama's a lizard guy.
Yeah, or House Speaker Nancy Pelosi eats babies for breakfast. This weird shit.
Or how you hate that AOC is prettier than you for some reason.
It's probably that one too. So that's a whole thing. So this woman she will come in, she will ask for something completely innocuous, totally normal. She'll be like, "Oh, I'm looking for the newest David Baldacci mystery thriller." And it's like, "Oh yeah, that's right up front, right up in the front of the store. Here, let me grab one. Here you go. That's that." And she's like, "Oh," and she's like, "Oh, that's good. Yeah, these mystery thrillers are great. I read a really good mystery thriller once. You ever heard of the Da Vinci Code? All the hidden messages and stuff? Our government's got hidden messages that they're sending to us. Thank God for Trump, because he's going to unravel all that and he's going to put all those monsters in prison. And you're just
Wow.
like, can I help you find anything else? Like some NyQuil? Like fucking like what like
An arsenic pill?
yeah, like what
Maybe a old folks home?
yeah, like what do you want? This woman in particular drives us nuts because very often whenever like a book
Mm-hmm.
that is uh, published by a prominent Democratic figure
Mm-hmm.
happens to be selling well, or a book that is critical, or in this case, I guess, was critical of the Trump administration,
Mm-hmm.
comes out, she mostly just stands by the table and just kind of like puts her hands on it, and it's just like, and just kind of like will sit there and like heave and sigh a bunch, and just
Hoping
kind of
that
like,
someone will pay attention.
yeah. And then if nobody pays attention, which we all just fucking ignore because we don't care, she'll go up and she'll be like, "Excuse me, I just have a question. I don't understand why this front of store display, this table display, why do you have Michelle Obama's book out front and center when Donald Trump is our president, and so his books should be out up in the front of the store, and Michelle Obama's books these really shouldn't be because that's not related to that." And it's like, man, first of all, Michelle Obama wasn't the president. So the fact that this is not like a president versus president thing. Second of all, nobody buys Trump books but you. Because most people don't actually like him.
Also, most Trump people can't read.
Right. Also, like they don't like the number of Trump supporters who go to a bookstore to read books, very slim. The number of Trump supporters who go to our bookstore because it's right off the highway and they want to shit, so many. So many Trump
They're
supporters
just glad they
come,
get to look
blow
at
up
his
our
face
bathroom, and then
before and
leave.
afterward.
Yeah, she has like, I think she has like a family member that, like, I think it might be a husband, it might be like a brother or something. They might be the same. They come they come in a lot together, and I noticed that while she's going around just like trolling the current affairs section for books that aren't about Trump to complain about,
Mm-hmm.
he like walks up to the biography section where President Obama's biography is,
Mm-hmm.
and he just like will go and he just like flips the books off. And we catch him doing it. Like he just stands there for like a good 3 or 4 minutes and just like flips off the books, the Obama books, and then leaves the store. He never buys anything. And it's just like that. You really like you could have gone home and like you could have like sat on the couch for 5 minutes. You could have fucking like read a news article.
You know what's easier than any of that? Going home and you can like download a picture of the guy and just flip it off all day if that's
Yeah,
what you want to do.
yeah. You could like that's easy, but he like it's like a ritual. It's like a thing. It's like some sort of like crazy hive mind shit that they do. They have to like
They just
they can't
really
help
hope
it
that they do that and somebody sees them doing it so they can like high five.
themselves. Yeah.
No, they want like someone else to agree with them.
Oh,
They
sure,
want
sure,
like
sure,
they
sure,
want
sure.
someone
Yeah,
else to see them doing it and be like, "Yeah, man, so cool. Like that's such a good thing you're doing. I
yeah,
love
yeah. You're
it."
so brave. Yeah, like okay, you're fucking stupid. But yeah, she usually like complains when we have like whenever there's a book written by a prominent Democrat or liberal or leftist. She complains that the book exists, and then like the one time that like a Bill O'Reilly book or something is like selling well,
Hmm.
she's just like, "Huh, we should really
Or
have
is
more
new.
stuff like that." Yeah, well, it's usually not like they sell pretty well, but it's
Hmm.
because like he's kind of the best-selling like person from like Fox News people, and like all the Fox News watchers come in and buy his book. That's like the only person they know like is an author,
Right.
so they just come in and buy his weird shit, and like whatever, that's fine. Um, and then like she got like all excited when like Donald Trump Jr. wrote a book, and then
Hmm.
that book sold fucking garbage.
When
Like
Donald Trump Jr. paid people to write a book.
yeah, and like the book didn't sell well, and we had it on the bestsellers bay because it was like from a prominent company, and also like we don't do it anymore as much, or not really at all. Depends on how things go, but bestsellers used to be like certain companies would be like, we have a hot new release, and so before we have its sales numbers, like the first week of sales, we're gonna pay the bookstores to put it on the bestseller bay,
Right.
and then after that, the sales determine whether it stays or goes, and they change out every week.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on the bestseller bay, like in the middle. So like a decent seller was like, it was like ninth or 10th.
There are a few
place.
different tables in the entrance, and they like have the best sellers and new releases
Right.
within the entranceway.
Yeah, and we
It's
have
not just
like
one table.
we have a display shelf at the front as well, and it's like an order from like number 1 to number 20 in terms of top sellers, and they go across the board, and like the top 3 get like two face out stacks, and everything else gets 1, and they're all in one convenient place. And I think it started at like 9th or 10th, and then the following week it was gone because nobody bought it.
Yeah.
And she was rip roaring mad. She was so upset. It's like, I don't understand how can Michelle Obama's book be on there for like 4 months and his book isn't even on there for a week? And it's like, Michelle Obama's book was the best-selling book that our store has ever sold in the history of it being a bookseller. Her biography sold more copies than every other book ever. So yeah, it was on the bestseller for like almost a year because it didn't stop selling.
Because it continued to be a bestseller.
Yeah. Donald Trump Jr.'s book stopped selling fast. So we got rid of it because no one was buying it. Why would we devote limited shelf space to a book that no one wants?
Let's just stick Animorphs back up there. I mean, honestly, it'd probably do better.
No, I would love Animorphs. Animorphs is dope. Like, I would love to put some Animorphs up there. That'd be so great.
Well, because that's the thing, too, is it's like, dude, like, my God, fucking, just understand how the fucking store works. Goddamn. Like, if Trump's book was doing super duper fucking well, and it was in the front of the store for like 5 months, like, I'm not gonna be pissed at the bookstore.
Right.
Like,
she said, and plus she said some weird shit before, like to me actually, about like I get it, it's not your fault. I understand that Barnes and Noble, we'll edit it out. We won't. We don't edit it out. Well,
we're just letting you in on the real shit.
This is the real shit. I understand that
we're giving away names.
I understand that your company, quote unquote. I'm so fucked. No, I'm not. It's fine.
There are plenty of them.
Yeah, I understand that your company has a liberal agenda. So I'm just like, girl, we literally sell Mein Kampf. Like, we sell Adolf Hitler's autobiography.
If that was the best seller for a year, it'd be in the front.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like that we sell it. I wouldn't want it up there, but we sell it.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of European people where, like, in Germany, it's like literally banned, and for good reason. It's a bunch of fascist garbage. It probably should be banned. Yeah. It's basically a bunch of propaganda, but like we put it on the shelf because there's this weird American idea that like even dangerous ideas shouldn't be censored because censorship equals bad. Like, whatever. That's a whole argument for another day. But the point is, like, we have like people who come,
unless it's a female presenting nipple.
Right, that's banned. Well, oh no, yeah, we block out the Penthouse magazines and stuff. We have like black bars over them. Oh well, actually, we have a dating and relationship section. We have like sex books with like butts.
Yeah, but they're like all drawn. And also,
we have like
also butts aren't as offensive, and they're probably like mostly male butts.
No, so women.
Mostly male butt, or is it all women's butts?
There's one book that I'm thinking of. It's like a copy of it's like a new age copy of the Kama Sutra, and it's got like an actual.
Well, it's already a sex book. Like, of course, it's got a butt on it. It's the least offensive organ.
That's the thing. It's fine. Like, there's nothing really big there.
I'm talking about female presenting nipples.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen.
That's the real villain.
I don't know if I've ever seen any non-drawn titty.
Yeah.
At the bookstore.
That's the one thing they censor. Everything else, whatever.
Shit. You right. Yo, fuck that.
Yeah.
That's stupid. We don't censor like straight up Mein Kampf. Like I've had people who were like visiting family and they were like from Germany, and I brought them over to like the history section and they see it and they're like, oh. Like, they just, like, don't know what to do.
Yeah, because just like, I wouldn't fucking know what to do either.
That's really bad.
Except for, since I'm an American, I'm like, okay, that's not great. I won't touch it.
Yeah.
Like, they have, like, the Necronomicon.
We do. We have the Satanic Bible. We have like the Necronomicon,
Well, I mean, I
which
love that.
I love that shit because like it's all like self-transformation used to be on the opposite side of religion. So it used to be so funny to see like the old church ladies on one side of the bookshelf and like all the goth kids on the other side of the shelf, and I was like, yeah, I love
My
this.
favorite thing is watching the, like, religious people, like just spinning the aisles because there's, like, 3 religious ones, and of course most of them are Christianity, and so they're, like, weaving the shelves, and then they get over to the witchcraft section, they go, oh.
Yeah. Oh, or like, oh my god, like the one lady we had that got super mad at us because she was looking for like a novelist who writes like stories about Amish families,
Mm-hmm.
but they're stories, they're fiction stories.
Right.
So she's like, oh, I'm looking for this author. And we were like, oh yeah, that's over in Christian fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, excuse me?
You mean Christian fact?
Well, no, dead ass though. She was just like, I think it's really rude to imply that my religious beliefs are fiction. And our manager was like, no, I mean like they're fiction stories about Christian people. And she's like, well, that's not what you implied it was. And she's like, no, it's literally fiction about Christians.
It
Like
is in the
it is
section called Christian fiction.
yeah.
There is Christian fiction.
And it was so funny because our manager at the time is like she was like a militant atheist.
Yeah.
And so she's just sitting there, she's like, ma'am, that is not what we meant. And deep down she's just like, ma'am, get the fuck out.
Ma'am. Shut up.
Like, yeah, like please stop. Okay. So, last but not least, I have a funny story. It was a little funny. From recently. Like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks ago.
Okay.
It is holiday time. It's just past Black Friday. Busy, busy, busy. The store's hopping. Everyone's running around. It's late at night, but it's still busy for a late night.
Mm-hmm.
My manager is on. I'm on. I'm up at the front. I'm at the registers. Well, I go everywhere in the store, but I happen to be up at the register that night.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of the people are out on the sales floor. My manager is helping a gentleman in the kids department. He's looking for books that would be appropriate for his 10-year-old.
Okay.
Because his 10-year-old needs to read more books for school. They have to come up with the book report books.
Okay.
So they're making
enough.
some suggestions. Easy enough. The whole time they're having this conversation, this 10-year-old, seemingly totally normal 10-year-old, no big deal.
All right.
Not making a really like.
I have a feeling the 10-year-old is not normal.
Well, maybe, but like the important thing is that like there doesn't seem to be any reason why what happens.
Okay.
Is my point. There's no real explanation for what is about to occur.
So far things are going textbook.
Sure. Exactly. His 10-year-old son is just tugging on his dad's seat. He's like, Dad, 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 Dad. And he's like, hold on, buddy. And he's like, yeah, so like what? And she's like, our manager's like, oh, well, you can, well, like, I mean, if you like kind of like mystery things, there's kind of like this spooky mystery, or you can like, we have like Goosebumps books. There's some that are more like chapter oriented, so they'd be appropriate for a 10-year-old, kind of like giving some different suggestions. And the whole time the son's just like, Dad, Dad. And he's like, buddy, hold on 1 minute. She's explaining things to me.
Dude, or maybe pay attention to your kid because he probably has to shit.
He should be, well, sure, but he's 10.
Yeah.
The bathroom's right. It's next to it.
Well, yeah, but while you're 10 years old, you're not just like, I'm just going to leave my parents' side in America.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that's fair. 10, I feel like, is a little bit too old to not just be like, dude, I hate to interrupt you, but I gotta go to the bathroom.
That's not how that works with parents when you're 10. I mean, like, except for mine. But I was so anxious that I made sure they knew exactly where I was going, especially with all the horror stories I hear about kids dying in bathrooms.
I'm not even saying, like, leaving. I'm just saying, like, hey, don't mean to interrupt, but, like, this has got to be a thing. So this kid, clearly, he's got to pee so bad.
Yeah.
And his dad's just like, no. So, eventually, he just, like, tugs on his dad's sleeve again, and his dad's like, buddy, 1 second. And the kid just goes, whoop, and shrugs, and he walks over to the left-hand side of the octagon of books we have in the center, right onto the hardwood floor, whips it out, and just pisses directly into the hardwood floor. And his dad's looking at him like, but what are you doing? And he's just like, I couldn't wait, man. You made me wait. I couldn't wait. And he's just like full stream pissing. Like, it's dripping over onto the rug. My manager's just like, Oh, like my manager didn't really know how to react. She just kind of just frozen. She's like,
Well,
what
that's how it goes.
do I do? Okay, I kind of see where you're coming from your
No,
perspective.
absolutely. I'm 100% on this kid's side.
You know what? The more I think about it, the more I feel like this is something you would do.
I'm 1,000% on this child's side. Like, maybe listen to your fucking kid.
Oh,
he probably feels like he can't get a word in edgewise. He's not supposed to interrupt adults talking because he's a child.
Oh my god, this is so something you would do. Oh, I love it. No, you know what? No, the kid was right. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, he's just doing what you would have done.
He's probably been told a million times he's not supposed to leave his dad's side. Like, I've heard about kids his age or older just being murdered in bathrooms.
Sure.
Like, I would probably do the exact same thing, except the difference is when my kid tugs on my sleeve, I tell the worker, give me a sec, what do you need? And if it's like, I want stuff, I'd be like, give me a minute, okay? We'll look at stuff in a minute. Let's talk about books. And then, but if it's like, I need to shit, then it's like, we'll come back. Yeah, we're gonna go shit.
Yeah.
Me and my 10-year-old are gonna go shit.
Yeah, we're gonna go tag team this shit. We're gonna high five over the stall, big party time.
But listen to your fucking kids. They're taught that they don't have bodily autonomy and that they don't have any right to interrupt you or leave your side. Sure. That they're constantly in danger. So the kid's doing everything he possibly can to let's go to the bathroom, and the dad doesn't want anything to do with it. Your kid's gonna barf or shit or pee or do something weird or they're starving to death. They're gonna pass out. Give me a minute, buddy. No. How about no? I'm gonna pee right here.
You changed this story around for me. I'm vibing with it now. I get it. Yeah.
The kid's not weird. He's doing everything he can.
Damn. You know what? That kid was right. And I mean, when it came down to it, technically it was my manager's responsibility. It's bodily discharge is in our handbook as the responsibility of the managers to deal with.
Oh yeah.
So he started pissing. My manager's just I got to scrub the piss out of the hardwood.
Yeah.
So that happened.
That's my favorate part is that managers have to deal with blood, vomit, or pee. Yeah. That's all them.
Yeah. Well, this isn't even talking about the time that this is before I even worked there, but there was an old guy that went he was hobbling into the bathroom real slow, and everyone was they were hearing the farts, and they're all right, this guy's probably gonna shit his pants on the way in there, and the dude went into the bathroom probably with a shit already in his pants. And then the dude came out of the bathroom without his clothes on, covered in shit, and just started walking around the store with his cane, just that
guy sounds fun.
Yeah. And he just got out of there, and my manager had to call somebody to come get him out of the store. They didn't call the police; they called an ambulance, and they wrapped him up in a blanket and got him out of the store.
Yeah, poor guy was probably having a time.
Yeah, but he just straight up shit all over himself, and my manager had to clean shit out of the carpet.
Honestly, he probably wasn't supposed to be there. He probably
he really probably should not have been by himself in the store. He was by himself, which was a problem.
But no, that actually reminds me. I know that we're cutting it close. It's supposed to be an hour and a half, and now we're almost at 2 hours. And
we had fun with it. We'll make this the last story.
I wasn't there for this story.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure my brother was, or at least the people that were managing me were. I worked at a McDonald's at this point, and I don't care about.
I was gonna be cheeky and be yeah, you worked at a
I don't work there anymore.
McDonald's.
I don't work there anymore. It doesn't matter. I could literally name all my managers, and they can't do anything to me. It's I don't work there. They're not. I'm not. They're not responsible for me. I'm not responsible for them. Plus, it's a stupid place. I hate it.
Yeah, suck it. McDonald's.
The people that work there, the people that are just under the managers, nice as hell. The people that manage it are giant assholes. I'm not going to name them because it's a cunt thing to do, but I worked at a McDonald's.
Sure.
There's a completely insensitive to say, but that's what we call it. It's like a crazy person place. It's it's not a crazy person place. It's a
asylum?
Yes, it's an asylum.
Okay.
That deals with the mentally disabled and disturbed.
Oh, okay, sure. In town.
Yes. Yeah. But they're just allowed. The thing is they're probably not supposed to be able to do this as much as they do.
Right.
They should be and are allowed free time to walk around town.
Sure.
It doesn't matter what's wrong with them. They're just allowed to do it.
Okay.
But the thing is they're supposed to have, and I've looked it up because I've tried to work there before. They're supposed to have an amount of time they're allowed out and supervised, but they're just allowed to walk around, however, whatever.
Yeah, they typically aren't supervised.
And they don't have a limit on when, like, except for, like, usually at night, except there was this one guy that would walk around whenever he wanted.
Right.
I haven't seen him in a really long time, but he used to, like, talk to everyone and stop everybody, especially if you had a can in your hand, because he wanted the can.
Right.
But that isn't my story. But so they just can wander and do whatever they please, and it's actually really dangerous. A lot of them have gotten hit by cars.
Oh, shit.
Because they're not
rough.
because they're not paying attention. Especially like in snowstorms, they just walk in the street and you can't see them.
Yeah.
It's actually really fucking sad. And probably not great. But there are a few of them are their favorite place to go, especially in the morning, is McDonald's.
Sure.
Because they can buy their own food, their own coffee. There's actually one guy there named Angel who goes and gets coffee for like a bunch of them really early in the morning, and he's so sweet.
Yeah.
But there was another person, and her name was Marianne. I don't know anything else about her, or even if that was her real name.
Sure.
Which is why I'm saying it.
Yeah.
I know Angel probably isn't Angel's real name. It could be.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just what everyone calls him.
Marianne feels like an OG Karen name.
Yeah. Well, she wasn't a Karen. She just had, there's something up with her.
Yeah, she had some shit.
And she would always go to McDonald's, and she had like a bag full of bags, full of bags, full of bags, full of bags.
Cool.
And she would like get her
bag
stuff. And yeah, I guess so. Yeah, a bag of bags.
Infinite bag space.
And she came in one day, and like was ordering her stuff, like she normally did. But then like she would always wear this giant like moo thing. And one day she just like in the middle of the line, like hiked it up and just shit on the floor. And
oh no!
In front of everybody. And I think they banned her from the store for a little while, but then eventually let her back in. And I haven't seen her in a long time, so I don't know what happened to her.
Right.
But she was a little bit older, but she wasn't so old that like she couldn't control herself.
Yeah.
At least not physically.
Sure.
But yeah, she just like randomly one day just like pooped on the floor of the McDonald's, and they had to ban her for a little bit, and then
I mean, you would think that you could use one of the bags, just poop in one of the
That's
bags.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like there are bathrooms literally around the corner. She had bags.
Just poop in the bag. But if you gotta hike it up and shit in the middle of the floor, shit in the bag.
Just pooped on the floor, right in front of the counter, for all of God and all the crewmates and everybody to see.
Yeah.
And that's like a famous story from the McDonald's.
It's like a legend. Yeah, everyone in town talks about the time Marianne shit on the floor.
Yeah.
Damn. That's crazy.
Yeah. Like I can't but now it just makes me remember that one guy that would ask everyone for their cans. The thing is there was like a town legend.
I know this guy. Yeah.
Because he was only around from the age of me being like 15. Well, he might have been here before that. Sure. But I moved here when I was 15, and he'd been around from the time I was like 15 to 20. And he would come up to me, or anybody, no matter your age, orientation, anything, and if you had a can, he wanted your can. And there was like word on the street that he had like stabbed people before.
Oh wow! Okay, that took a turn.
Yeah, like no confirmed cases. I'd never seen him stab anyone before.
Everyone kind of was just like a little wary of him because of it.
Yeah, because a lot of people said that he was in that home because he had stabbed people and like couldn't really be controlled. Which is also why I think he was the only person that got out at night. I think he might have like snuck out.
Oh sure, okay.
But like some of my favorite story from him was he would also ask people for money, and so he would, or to like use your phone to call people.
No, get out of here.
So my favorite lies to him were, I didn't have a phone, I didn't carry money.
Sure, makes it easy.
Even if I like had just purchased things. And one of my favorite stories was I walked out of our local grocery store with an Arizona iced tea. and I just opened it and took my very first sip, and he comes out of nowhere and he goes, "Can I have that can?" And I was like, I don't remember what his name was, but I was like, "No, whatever your name is.
Right.
I just opened this can. It's full of stuff that I would like to consume."
Right.
So like if I was done with it, I would give you the can. I've never had a problem giving you my cans before.
Right.
Like if I had monsters, I would like dump the last of it and like give them the can because I'm like, whatever, you can have the can.
Sure.
I'm like, but I just bought this with the last of my money. uh, I'm gonna drink this on my way home. You can't have the can. And he's just like, but I want the can. Can I have the can? And I'm like, no, you can't have the can.
No.
And he bugged me for like 10 minutes about having the can. Like, he followed me for a little bit and like was trying to get the can. And I was like, no, you need to go back to where you came from. Put that thing back where it came from. I was like, you need to go back home because I can't give you the can. I was like, if it was any other day, you can ask me in the future, but not this one.
Jesus, what ended up happening?
He's eventually gave up. I got far enough from town to where he was like, oh, like I'm getting to a place I don't know or like doesn't have lights, and he like must have gotten uncomfortable and left.
Jesus, okay.
Because I used to carry knives, I wasn't worried.
Oh yeah, no, you've always been hardcore.
I was like, if he tries to like jump me for this fucking can, I'll kill him. and then I guess I'll go to jail or something. But like whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, like better that than being dead.
But I was like, I think he was not. He didn't understand where I was going, and I would walk dark back streets, and so like you know how this is gonna sound weird to all the rest of the listeners, but like there's the main road through town from the center.
Sure.
And then there's the back road through town.
Yeah, like
I take the back road every single
time.
Yeah,
you would take the loop around.
And people have seen bears and mountain lions and stuff on that road.
It's a little woodsy.
And so and there's no street lights. It's dark and it's away from town. And I could have been going all the way to the woods of the town. And so he had no idea where I was going or like how far I would keep walking. And so I think he just got uncomfortable and turned around and went.
Jeez, well, I mean, I'm glad that turned out that way and not any worse. That's
yeah. I don't think he was actually that dangerous. Like, I think it's just either...
So it's kind of like the stabbing people was like a rumor.
I feel like it was a rumor. Or if it wasn't a rumor, then it was like probably the time he snapped and like then he did something like crazy. Like someone must have pushed him to it because he'd never actually hurt anybody.
Right.
Or not, he would never actually hurt anybody, but he had never hurt anybody to my knowledge.
Right.
But he also disappeared again eventually, so I don't know what happened.
Yeah, Jesus, that's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
Whew. So, I guess with that, we will end.
A weird one to end it all.
Yeah, like it was a mix of some other fun, some other like wild personal stories.
Just the podcast of weird human interaction.
Venture into retail hell. But I guess on that note, we'll end it by saying, first of all, for those of you who are listening who do work in retail,
give us your retail stories.
Yeah, give us your retail stories. Also, best of luck.
Yeah.
By the time you hear this, the next week and a half, 2 weeks are probably going to be garbage. So, hang strong.
We're with you.
We're right there with you. We'll be right alongside.
But also, no better time to give us your retail stories. Maybe we'll do another one of these after Christmas.
Yeah, we'll collect some of your best stories from your past and maybe some recent ones. If you have some really good ones, I'd love to hear about them in the comments.
No better time to collect stories about Karens. Write them down.
Yeah, I mean, now tis the season. So yeah. So I guess we'll end it off tonight by giving you a little teaser for our next one. The next episode is going to be Hannah's.
Yeah, it's going to be mine, and the whole reason I was touching my phone earlier is because according to the calendar, my episode is going to be coming out on the 23rd of December.
Oh, wow. Real close to Christmas.
Which means that it's going to be our Christmas episode. And
yeah.
I'm going to be talking about a bunch of different things Christmas. Like the last episode or two, maybe. I couldn't really stick to one exact theme. It's one overall theme, but with a bunch of mini themes.
Sure, like sub themes to the theme.
But it's Christmas themed.
Yeah,
it's gonna be Christmas.
Excellent.
We're gonna hang out on Christmas Eve. We're gonna talk about some Christmas stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little Christmas Eve a little story time and talk about some fun things that Hannah has planned for us. I'm very excited for that. So we will see you all again very soon. Have a happy holiday for those of you who are currently celebrating. Merry Christmas coming up to those who are
happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, happy
whatever
every other holiday is around. Yeah, Yule for everyone.
Yule, very important. Yeah, so happy holidays to everybody. Thank
Winter
you so much
solstice.
for listening. And we'll catch you again next time.
We'll see you near Christmas. Love you. Bye.